Honorable members, with your kind permission, we move on to the next contributor, and that is in the person of Honorable Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the SONA which was presented to this House by the President on Wednesday. The President's appearance to this House was in fulfillment of a constitutional provision, specifically Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution. And it says, among others, the President shall address Parliament and state the true state of the nation at the beginning of every session and before the close of every session. Right, Honorable Speaker? The list the people of this country expected from the President was to tell them half-baked truths and with all sincerity, sometimes absolute falsehood. Yes. And I say this with a reason. Yes. Right, Honorable Speaker? Some of us predicted that the President was going to blame one COVID for the economic mess, the crass incompetence that he has subjected the people of this country to. We also predicted that he was going to blame the Ukraine-Russia conflict. If I may ask my colleagues, that when we finally get a resolution to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, who is our President going to blame? Perhaps he will blame the conflict in Ethiopia. Perhaps he will blame the conflict in Somalia. The same Minister for Agriculture told us that if we do not pass e-levy, farmers are not going to get fertilizer. The President stood here with alacrity and told us, because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, farmers cannot get fertilizer. Right, Honorable Speaker? The people of this country expected the President to tell us the true state of Ghana. At best, what the President did on that day was the state of promises message he delivered. And as a matter of fact, they were not there to execute. They were outstanding promises for which he told us in this House. Interestingly, the challenges confronting us today, it is not how big our English is. The man who lives in my senior brother constituency, Karga, or the man who lives in my constituency is not interested in these jargons and big English. He is interested in bread and butter. The unemployed young man who lives at Medina and has to struggle to border trotro from Medina to the ministry chasing for non-available jobs is considering how much he was paying for transportation just in 2016 and how much he pays now. That is what the people of this country expected from the President. Unfortunately and sadly, he engaged in peddling those falsehoods. And it is not surprising that our colleagues, of course, there's a proverb in the Ghana, if the chief comes home with a weird haircut, his subject certainly will come with tapia joke. And that is precisely what we have witnessed today. The President didn't even see the need to talk about the challenges confronting young people who constitute majority of the population of this country. President Mahama, who was described as incompetent, as a matter of fact, by the ILO own records, unemployment was 6.8. Today, don't take my words, take the words of the Minister for Finance, who presented to this House the financial statement for this year. He stated in an unambiguous terms that youth unemployment is 12.6. As a matter of fact, the census that was conducted, unemployment in general is 14+%. This is not crass incompetence. Perhaps because I attended the Saito school, those who attended the Oxford and Yale's should tell us what constitutes incompetence. What we have, I don't think can be described as incompetent, but crass, gross incompetence. That was what was demonstrated. The people of this country expected to hear from the President what has happened to the cedi in its relations with the dollar. More so, they were expecting the president to tell us whether the dollar is still locked up at the police headquarters as we were told by Dr. Baumia. We wanted to know whether the dollar has broken jail, and if it has broken jail, it has become a fugitive, or perhaps it was granted bail, or perhaps it was given the opportunity to leave this country just like Aisha Wang. That is what the people of this country expected to hear from His Excellency, the President.
Majority, 1 minute. Yes.